Good morning. I'm Dr. Reed Sheftal. This morning we're going to be showing you a tape of a procedure that we're going to be doing, the first part of 2 procedures. This is Sreya, and Sreya is a 30-year-old female who was burned with acid when she was 20. This morning we're going to be doing the first part of a tissue expander procedure to reconstruct Sreya's scalp. And this is Dr. Chindalim. She's going to be the translator. She works in our clinic here in Phnom Penh. So Sreya, why don't you tell, Sreya can speak some English and some Khmer. Chinda will translate when she needs help. But Sreya can tell us the story of what happened to her so we all understand the history of this patient. So go ahead, Sreya, tell us what happened and how you were injured.
រ៉ាយរាប់ហេតុអីបានជាត្រូវទៅអាស៊ីបញ្ហាហ្នឹងខ្ញុំអត់បានដឹងដែរក្នុងកាលពីឆ្នាំដើមឆ្នាំ99ខែ2ហ្នឹងខ្ញុំបានចេញពីធ្វើការហោះជាមួយនឹងមិត្តភ័ក្តិ 4-5 នាក់ហ្នឹងហើយមានជនស្គាល់មុខហ្នឹងគេពួនហើយគេលួចជះមកលើពួកខ្ញុំហើយពួកខ្ញុំក៏អត់មានបានចាប់បានអ្នកដែលធ្វើនឹងដែរ Okay. In 1999, like early Kaipi Mane, in February, one day she left for work and then she walking on the street with the other 3 people, like that her friend, and then somebody threw the acid on them and she doesn't know who and threw that.
Okay. And she also lost her sight, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Sreya is not able to see, and she also obviously was injured on her face as the acid ran down. And acid is a very bad way of being burned. It burns until it dilutes deeper into the skin and deeper tissues. And today we're focusing on her scalp. And what we're going to do is insert tissue expanders. And this is an example of a tissue expander. This is much larger than we're going to use today. We're going to use something very similar but smaller, about this large. And we're going to make incisions here and put the expanders underneath her galea, which is a structure in the scalp tissue. Underneath her galea, we're going to place tissue expanders on both sides, one here and one here. And then over the course of approximately 2 months, we're going to inject water through the port here and slowly expand the tissue expanders. And as we all know from observing a woman who's pregnant, the skin can actually stretch quite a bit when it expands. And this will expand the scalp tissue that's hair-bearing here. And her hair is so thick, she's got beautiful thick black hair. Her hair is so thick that you won't be able to notice that it thins out slightly with expansion. But she's going to end up with expanded scalp on both sides. And then in about 2 months, we're going to remove the expanders and remove the burned tissue here that where the hair follicles were damaged so the hair didn't grow back. We're going to remove all this tissue, take the extra skin that we created with the expander, and bring it over to create a new hairline for Sreya, something in about this area here. Okay? So Sreya, do you have any questions?
មានសំណួរអីទៀតដែរស្រីយ៉ាខ្ញុំចង់សួរថាក្នុងការវះកាត់ថ្ងៃហ្នឹងពេលវះកាត់ហើយហ្នឹងខ្ញុំទៅសម្រាប់ជាធម្មតាវាអត់មានបញ្ហាអីក្នុងខ្ញុំគឺថាមានការឈឺចុកចាប់ខ្លាំង Okay, she want to after today's surgery and when she go home if she had any complication with the surgery or not, like very painful or something that make her discomfort.
Okay. Well, today we're going to give her some IV sedation in her arm to make her very sleepy. And we're going to inject her scalp with lidocaine and epinephrine, which will numb up her scalp, make it so she can't feel anything. So she won't feel the procedure itself. But when the lidocaine wears off, she will be sore in her forehead here for a little while, which will probably last about 2 days. And we'll give her pain medicine she can take by mouth to lessen the severity of the discomfort. But after a couple days, the pain will wear off and it will not be painful for her at all. And she won't need to take pain medicine anymore. And then as we do the injections now, like I said, we're going to do injections where we stretch the skin and that will be a little bit uncomfortable because it will stretch her scalp, but she will be the boss there and she'll tell us when it begins to hurt a little bit, and we will stop injecting when it gets painful, maybe even take a few cc's out to relax it a little bit, but slowly we'll stretch the scalp without it being too uncomfortable for her.
Okay. ការថ្ងៃវះកាត់ថ្ងៃហ្នឹងគឺយើងជួយសេរ៉ូមដើម្បីដាក់ថ្នាំឲ្យយើងមានអារម្មណ៍ថាយើងអត់ឈឺអត់ថ្ងៃងុយគេងរបៀបថាអត់លក់អីវាលងហើយនឹងមួយទៀតយើងចាក់ថ្នាំស្ពឹកនៅលើក្បាលហ្នឹងហើយដល់ពេលកាលណាពេលថ្នាំស្ពឹកហើយនឹងថ្នាំរបៀបមួយគេងហ្នឹងវាទៅយើងនឹងមានឈឺបន្តិចដែរដល់ឈឺបន្តិចចឹងយើងឲ្យថ្នាំបំបត្តិការឈឺចុកចាក់ប៉ុន្តែពីមួយថ្ងៃក្រោយមកវាឡើងសូវឈឺហើយចាទៅធម្មតាវិញហើយចាហើយពេលនឹងធ្វើចាក់ថ្នាំស្ពឹកនៅក្បាលហ្នឹងយើងនឹងមានចាក់ទៅប្រហែលជា5 cc ឬទៅ10 cc តែពេលគាត់ថាអូឈឺណាស់អញ្ចឹងយើងឈប់ចាក់សិនតែយើងឈប់ថ្នាំចាចូលទឹកនោះនៅក្នុងចាចាក់នៅក្នុងtissue expander ហ្នឹងនៅតាមនេះយើងចាក់ចូលតាមនេះចាចូលតាមហ្នឹងចាហើយអានេះនៅក្នុងក្បាលយើងចា
Okay, do you have any more questions, Sreya?
ហើយបន្ទាប់ពីខ្ញុំវះកាត់ហ្នឹងទៅក្រោយហ្នឹងខ្ញុំអាចធ្វើការបានទេបាទ
After surgery can she work like how many days after surgery?
Yeah, just a couple of days she can go back to work.
3 ថ្ងៃក្រោយពីការវះកាត់អាចទៅធ្វើការបាន
អត់អាចប៉ះពាល់អីទេព្រោះខ្ញុំធ្វើការខ្ញុំចាប់សរសៃខ្ញុំចុចសរសៃ
Is it working her surgery or not? Like she do a massage?
She works as a masseuse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the question? I'm sorry.
Like after 3 days, like when she go to work,
yes.
Is it a working her surgery or not?
No, no problem.
ខ្ញុំប្រើកម្លាំងខ្លាំងណា
អត់អីទេគាត់ថាអត់ទេការវះកាត់ពេលដែលយើងធ្វើការហ្នឹងការធ្វើការហ្នឹងអត់ទៅធ្វើឲ្យការវះកាត់របស់យើងហ្នឹងឈឺទៀតទេអត់ទេចាតែ3ថ្ងៃក្រោយបន្តធ្វើការ
ចាអញ្ចឹងយើងអាចធ្វើបានហើយចុះការក្នុងការធ្វើដំណើរយើងជិះម៉ូតូអីទៅតាមផ្លូវហ្នឹងវាអាចធ្វើឲ្យបញ្ហាដូចថាមានធូលីមានអីប៉ះពាល់អាចមានបញ្ហាអីអត់
ពេលទៅធ្វើការហ្នឹងហ៎ Okay, she asking when she go to work and like on the area have dust something like any and can that dust hurt to the place that she operated or not?
Once we get the stitches out, it'll be watertight and so forth, and it will not be at a risk at all to have dust in the air. Okay?
គាត់ថាសម្រាប់អីអត់មានប៉ះពាល់ដល់ការវះកាត់នៅលើក្បាលគេ
អញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំខ្លាចពួកឯងខ្ញុំធ្លាប់មានបទពិសោធន៍កាលពីមុននោះចំពោះខ្ញុំនេះវាអត់មានទេណានៅឆ្នាំ2003ហ្នឹងដុកទ័រជប៉ុនគេចុះមកហើយទៅខាងសមាគមគេហ្នឹងជួយខ្ញុំទៅគេធ្វើការវះកាត់ហើយគេទុកឲ្យគេយកនេះដៃខ្ញុំហ្នឹងណាគេវះសាច់ដៃហ្នឹងយកមកដាក់ដេជាប់មួយចំហហ្នឹងក្នុងរយៈពេល1ខែហើយគេវះយកឆ្អឹងទៅទៀតខ្ញុំហ្នឹងមកដាក់ក្នុងចំហហ្នឹងហើយគេទុកឲ្យពេទ្យខ្មែរយើងមើល
That's okay.
តើហើយគេទុកឲ្យពេទ្យខ្មែរយើងមើលហើយរបួសខ្ញុំហ្នឹងត្រូវការកន្លែងស្អាតអញ្ចឹងដល់ពេលហើយវាមានប៉ះធូលីដីគឺធ្វើឲ្យចំហខ្ញុំហ្នឹងខូចទៅវិញណាវាទៅជាចេញផ្ទុះមានអី
2003
ចា
in 2003 can I have water?
Yeah. Okay, I think I understood that. In 2003 she You can turn it off for a second. Just for a second.
She has experience about the nose infection in 2003.
Okay.
Done by Japanese doctor.
Okay.
And then after that, like to take some skin from the forearm and then stick to methanol, like to do skin graft.
Yeah.
And then take some part of the skin at the hip here. She's like that.
All right.
Yeah. And then after that, a while she have a nose infection. Like ប្រហែលថ្ងៃ
រយៈពេល1ខែ
1 month for nose infection.
Well, you know, that's always a risk when you do an operation, especially when you put a foreign body in. But we're going to take every precaution and be as careful as we can to try to prevent that from happening.
Okay.
But that's always a risk. And if it does happen and we can't treat it with antibiotics easily and clear it up, we'll have to remove the expanders and wait some time, treat her illness, and then put them back in later. But we're hoping we don't have to do that. You know, we're going to be very, very careful, and hopefully we won't have to do that.
Okay.
Sreya?
វះកាត់ថ្ងៃហ្នឹងដោយដាក់ tissue expander ហ្នឹងវាអាចបើសិនជាវាជួបនៅក្នុងករណីរលាកអញ្ចឹងប៉ុន្តែយើងនឹងព្យាបាលវាប៉ុន្តែយើងសង្ឃឹមថាអ្វីការងារដែលយើងធ្វើថ្ងៃហ្នឹងវាមិនអាចទៅជំនាញដល់ណាទេចា
All right. So, do you have any more questions, Sreya? Are you ready to take off and get this taken care of?
ហើយមួយទៀតបើសិនថាបើសិនជាមានការមាន infection នៅក្បាលហ្នឹងមែនគាត់អាចនឹងដោះចេញហើយឬមួយព្យាបាលវាជាសិនហើយក្រោយព្យាបាលហើយអាចដាក់ចូលវិញ
Okay.
អញ្ចឹងបានខ្ញុំចង់សួរថាបើសិនជាយើងទៅធ្វើការខលខ្លួនមិនអាចប៉ះពាល់នឹងអញ្ចឹងណាវាអាចធ្វើឲ្យការដំណើរការរបស់យើងមានការរលថារាំងស្ទះណាតែវាអត់អីទេចឹងមកចឹង
Incidentally, we may after we've completed this sometime in the future put expanders on both sides here and here and do something to remove some of the burn skin in here. We also may take some bone possibly from the rib and give her more projection on her nose sometime in the future. But today we have the relatively simple procedure of inserting the tissue expanders, and that's all we're going to do today. So are you ready to go to the operating room now and start?
អូខេគាត់ថាមួយទៀតថ្ងៃក្រោយបើសិនជាអាចធ្វើបានយើងដាក់ tissue expander នៅកន្លែងងាកថ្ពាល់យើងដែរដើម្បីយកអាសាច់អលិនឹងចេញអស់ប៉ុន្តែអានេះទៅថ្ងៃមុខយូរទៀតឥឡូវសួរថារៀបចំខ្លួនហើយនៅអាចទៅវះកាត់ណាចាអូខេ
Is she ready to go to the
Yeah.
operating room, Sreya?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay.